JavaScript technology. Okay? We will not talk about normal JavaScript. We're going to talk about some of the new frameworks and technologies used in JavaScript development. Okay, mainly used for front-end. Although we're going to use some of the back-end JavaScript tools. Okay, so the main 4 points today. The main one is about AngularJS. We're going to use human, and we will know in short what's human, and power and curve. Okay, so AngularJS. Angular is an MVC framework to create SPA. SPA is a single page application. Single page applications are the
MVC.
Okay. Single page applications are the applications created and running in one application. You will not be needing to refresh the page as long as you are in that application. MVC is model view controller. It's a design pattern to create applications. Depends on model, that is the place you hold your data in. V is view, that is how you can represent your data, and controller is how you can connect between the model and the view, and how you're gonna do the logic of the application. Actually, the logic is not in the controller, it's usually in the services. That's something attached to the controller. But currently it's MVC. AngularJS is a framework, it's a JavaScript framework that provides MVC framework for the front end. Usually we had the issue of creating scripts, JavaScript scripts, using jQuery and other utilities to manipulate the DOM and alter the HTML to suit our needs for representing the data. Using AngularJS, we will be having this feature, routing, and using templates by default, directives that we can create new elements in HTML, controllers to serve for separation of concern, and this resource, because most of the applications are CRUD applications, the resource is a utility inside the Angular to call the back-end CRUD applications or CRUD operations, events, because most of the time we will be needing to notify that something happened, something new is there, so there are events. And services, as I said, most of the logic is in the services, filters to alter the UI again. We will see some of these today, others we will not be able to see due to the time frame. AngularJS has also extensions. Actually, it's just a representation of your code that you can add any code inside it. Using jQuery, other frameworks, it will be normal. Okay?
The examples in the single page applications.
Single page application, it's web applications. You can, one of the most popular is 8 tracks. It's single page application. Okay? Another single page application you can think of like Gmail.
Cloud store.
Cloud store. Almost all the new applications, the big applications, are single page applications. Okay? That's the new technology, not to distract the user with a new refresh. Okay? It's used for applications. I don't think currently all the admin consoles use that, but they can. Okay? We will see how to create one of these. Human, it's a utility because most of the HTML is boilerplate, what is JavaScript is boilerplate, the installation of the new project is boilerplate. Human is our servant to do that. So it serves us to support these files, normal JavaScript files, HTML files, inclusion libraries, some stuff like that. It supports CookScript, so if you can start a project in CookScript, you can do that using human or normal JavaScript. It also comes with HTTP server for Statify to test your code, and some other frameworks are included as well, like Karma and Power. We will be using human today, using some of its comments. Okay. Power, normally most of the Linux, Unix users know the package manager applications like apt-get, yum, some stuff like that. Okay, so we needed in the front end some package manager, not to search for I need a jQuery library. So I will go to the website of jQuery and download the library and put it somewhere and link it. I need, let's say, underscore. I will go to the underscore website and get it. No, it shouldn't go like that. So normally, I have my application, I have Power. So Power search jQuery. It gives me the package of jQuery. Power install jQuery. It will get into my packages or components folder. I can, of course, using an RC file, a configuration file, to change that folder, but usually I use it as this. So Power is a package manager for the library. Yes, you're gonna see. Normally Power is adapted by Bootstrap, and AngularJS is adapted by Google. So they are well supported. Karma is, by the way, Google's team. So Google's AngularJS team created Karma to make testing easy. Of course, it's black before it's all cross-state testing, but normally Karma really makes testing easy. We're gonna see how to do that. Okay, so let's go to the code. That's what I'm looking for. Just these were the introduction, so now we're gonna see how to do that. Here, that's a normal empty folder. It's just a repo. Later on I will be sharing that repo with you. So I would like to create an application. I assume that you have installed these tools, so let me go through these as quickly as possible. AngularJS, that's its website. Okay. It is a framework, so it doesn't need installation. Okay. Although the files we will get by default. So I will show you how to do that. Yeoman, that is the framework or the utility. Actually, it's not a framework. The utility that we use to create new projects. If you can see here, npm install -g means global. npm is Node.js package manager. Okay, install Yeoman, grunt, and Power. These are the tools we're gonna use. Okay. After doing that, you will be having the command line yo and Power. Okay. So let's see how to do that. And that's the Power. That's how to install it as well using npm. Most of these applications are written, actually all of these applications are written in JavaScript and runs over Node.js. Karma, that is the testing utility, not the testing framework. It runs testing frameworks over the unit tests that I have write to the application. Jasmine is the testing framework. Okay, so Jasmine, I write a test code like that and I run it using Karma. We will be seeing that as well. Moon.js and underscore are the tools you're going to use in the application. So let's continue. Here I would like to start a new AngularJS application. So yo, Angular, just that. Creating an application. Okay, I will show you this. Here, our application should look like that. Okay, that is the home page. Which one? Creating which application we're gonna do? Okay, we're gonna make a very simple task manager, very simple one. So it should look like that. I have a title, new task. Okay, which description? Making my session. Create. It's there. Okay, and it says a few seconds ago. Although that one I created while testing or creating this application is 2 hours ago. Okay. So we're going to create something like that. Just to test the frameworks and the utilities we just described. So here again, when I created, or actually typed new Angular, it asks me, would you like to include Bootstrap? Yes, I would like. We would like to use Campus. Canvas is a CSS utility to write better CSS in another language. But I don't dislike that. A better one is less CSS for me. That's a personal preference. So no.
Compass is SAS.
Yeah, exactly. Extension of sets. Yes. The file extension is SASS. This is .LESS. Angular resource, that one, if I would like to include it, that one is the extension for Angular to use back-end CRUD operations. That should be normally in a RESTful or REST API. Okay, so no, I'm not gonna have a backend at the moment.
You the package manager.
Yeah, no, not the package manager. It's the, you can say the scaffolding manager. So I'm scaffolding the application at the moment, creating it. Scaffolding, it's generating.
Will it download these resources?
Yeah. Okay. Cookies. No, I'm not gonna use cookies. Sanitize. If I would like to show HTML in the page, no, I'm not gonna do that. So it's now downloading and generating the application for me.
But this thing is using Power in the backend.
It uses lots of other stuff as well, Power, Grunt, and other stuff. So it's just like
It's a wrapper of Power.
exactly. You ask it to do something and it will do it. So I don't like to middle. Anyway, so now that's the application. We see the tree. That's going on. Here, that's the long one. Anyway, we have the app and we have test.
Sorry, can I get through it? I'll be late.
So we have app and we have test. Okay. So if we would like to see how it's going at the moment, so Angular, okay, and let's run the app. HTTP server. So locally, if I create that, it doesn't have anything called classes. But if I go, yeah, sorry, HTTP server should be in the app. So here, and now again, that's what's generated by you, or you, okay? So we need to alter that. Okay, I would like here in this
I
tree.
have a question.
Okay.
It only asks if you want to use Bootstrap, Compass, and Angular.
Yes.
But what about, for example, if I'm making a backbone?
I will tell you. Actually, I have asked it in the beginning. If you can see, I told it Yo Angular. That's a generator. Comes with Yo. You have lots of other generators. Actually, let's say you have Angular, you have Karma. That's my generator. There are other generators actually. You can install, and it will be well installed in the system. So again, let's create the task controller. So Yo Angular controller. I will name it tasks. Okay. As you can see, it created the controller's directory, and the test for it. Okay. I think I will be leaving a few more.
The registration file, the application,
I will show you again. Okay. View, Angular view, I will creating the view for the tasks to show up. Okay. Now it creates only the view. Okay. Now the structure, it's app and test. If you go inside the app, I'll be having the components. These are the components installed by Power. Scripts, these are JavaScripts, styles, CSS, and views is HTML. And of course, indexed HTML is included. If we look at indexed HTML, we'll be seeing something amazing. Okay, that is here, as you can see, it included AngularJS. Okay, but these stuff are generated. So normally it starts with the app, and then our controller main that includes by default and tasks our controller. So when I create a new controller, it adds it here. Okay. So let's start write some code here. Scripts, controller, task.js. Okay. Actually, there is something else I would like to do. here that's the application running normally. I didn't care about it that much. So if you go, that's our code. If you can see, there's karma.conf.js. That is the configuration file for the testing framework, the testing utility Karma. So I will be starting with that. Here, at the end there is single run, it's false, which is fine. Auto watch is false. No, I like it to auto watch as long as I'm writing it. Okay? So that's it so far, and QA. Now, I just configured it to auto watch my files. If I write karma and start karma.js, now it started, it ran the normal 2 tests. So it's running successfully and it's watching my code. So now I come here and let's say remove that. So go back, one failed. Okay, let's not do that here and let's make it here so that we can see the test as long as we are coding. Okay. So now we have one field. I don't care about that because I didn't update the test. Here is the test, specs, controller, and that's tasks. I dislike actually uses strict because it populates with descriptions that's useless. Okay, here it expects that's the testing using Jasmine expects the scope, awesome things, and it's B3. I have just updated that, so this test shouldn't be there. But let's try test-driven development and say I would like it should have tasks array. That's the normal tasks. Okay, expect scope dot tasks to be defined. When I save, error. Why? Because there is nothing called scope. So here I will go scope. Actually, it's not scope. It's order sign scope. As you can see in the parameters, the scope tasks equal array.
Scope is which scope actually?
The scope is every controller has a scope, and it's all children of the root scope of the application. Okay, so if you would like something to be globally available to the application, you should have it as a variable in the root application, in the root scope. Okay.
This scope. So if I added the variable in this scope, it will be available in the other one.
It will be available. No, it will be available only in the controller scope. We will see how to use that at the moment. But if I would like to have a root scope, I'll be writing that root scope. So it automatically injects, if any of you guys know IOC inversion of control design pattern, it uses inversion of control to inject these variables by name. So if you can see this function called inject here, it injects these variables normally, but it's out of scope of this session. So now the test is working fine, but I don't expect only that. I expect should have a task that holds our task information. So it have a task object, okay, function. Expect scope the task to be defined. Now it's failing again, so I'll be going task. Okay, I'm expecting that I'll be needing to create a task. So here's code dot create is a function. When I click to create, actually it should save set item. Yeah, tasks with our scope the tasks variable. So now it's gonna save that in the local storage of the browser. Okay? So here, what I have done is it showed, actually it's not like that. Now I have a separate function, but that alone. So I will describe the test for create method. Okay? And here, create a test, and I say it should save the tasks in local storage. Okay? So now I will say expect local storage dot set item to have been called. Now it should complete. Yeah, it completes. If you see here, it will say expected a spy, because that's a normal function and he can't detect if it's called or not, so I should create a spy over it. So spy on normal local storage object, and the function name should be named set item, and I should call the normal create, which is code.create function. Now if I save it, yeah, I got code. So it's not succeeding.
I'm sorry, any spawning?
A spawning is creating a wrapper over the object to get the count of calls, detect if a function gets called, something like that. It's a mode. I think that's what? What? Actually, that's AngularJS. That's Angular. Writing in the controller of Angular. And that's the test of Angular. Okay? Yeah. That's how you create an application. Actually, it's showing you the tests. How to test your application in Angular. That's crucial. So,
You are using just an
yeah, right.
تست driven يعني تست
يعني في ممكن في سيشن تانية
I have
تست
seen,
انجلر يعني
I've showed how the application got on.
معلش انا لغايه دلوقتي ما استفدتش غير ازاي اعرف اكتب تيست بالحاجه الغريبه دي لكن ما اعرفش ازاي اعمل ابلكيشن.
Just wait. Okay? So that's creating. Okay? So now, in AngularJS, there is binding, two ways binding, which means, as you can see, that controller, it holds the data. It doesn't steal something like that. There are sign.div and .onClick do something weird. We don't play with DOM here. So how are we gonna play with DOM? At first, let's see the normal app.js that's under scripts. Okay, that is the kickstart of the application, and it usually holds the routing URLs. So here, let's move straight. I hate it. When I'm in the root, show the main. Okay. Otherwise, go to the main. But I would like to say when I am in tasks, show the view I have created, which is tasks. And if you can see here, it's tasks control. Okay, so I'm gonna say it's controlled by tasks control. Okay? So now when I go to the browser, that's the existing browser by the way. Tasks. Sorry, I need to refresh. Tasks. That's not it.
So what عملنا view أصلا؟
No. We didn't. This is the tasks view. Actually, that wasn't the cache. But now, this is the tasks view. Okay, let's see how is that available. We have our views here. That is the task we have created. So here it says this is the tasks view. Okay. Okay. You have two options at the moment. Either I create the HTML myself, or we get the HTML from the previous project, which is faster. Myself, raise your hand. Previous project, raise your hand. Previous project.
How many lines is it?
What?
How many lines is it?
Like 30. Okay. That's the same structure. So let's say the view. Here is it. Okay. So now, when you look back,
لا انت هتشرح لنا.
I will show you. It's changed. Okay. So here, that's a component in Angular. I will tell you I got it from where. So here, so it's not a component from Angular. It's a component from Bootstrap. So Bootstrap snippets like that. Here, I go there and I find lots of snippets for Bootstrap. I grab one and I edit it. That's faster. Okay. So
So it's already copy paste.
actually, after editing, that's nice. So let's see. Here, if you can see, it's normal Bootstrap, but here, that thing highlighted, it's called ng model. I'm saying ng, it's shortcut for Angular, but the model I'm saying is inside the property in the scope called the task, another property called the title. Whenever the task and the title changes, alter it in that input text. Whenever I change something in the input text, put it inside the task type. Okay? The other model,
Can I disable this behavior?
what?
Can I disable this behavior? Like, can I make it one direction?
I didn't check that. But if it is happening and you dislike it, just don't neglect it. It will not affect you changing the data. Actually, I think you can if you simply created the function, wrapper function over it to just view the data and you can alter the function. It can be something like that. But inside Angular itself, I can't remember if I saw something like that. Same here with task description. Here, create ng-click. That's a directive in Angular that when I click on that button, execute that function. That's the same function we have just added. Correct?
Any scope that?
That, yeah, which is cool. Again, here, that is the app.js. I decided that this view goes with that URL and it will be controlled with that controller and the scope inside that controller.
بس هنا اضطرينا ان احنا define the properties in our task.
Which one? Here, that is the controller, right?
ده في HTML page.
Yes, here. Sorry. Here.
احنا عملنا ng model قلنا التاسك title task description.
Yeah, that task is the one in the scope.
That's cool.
That scope. I said here, scope and task. That's an option.
So the whole controller.
Yeah, and that one is the view for that controller.
فاش معنى لما بعمل ng click ما بقولوش هو السكوب، لما بعمل ng model بقول السكوب.
You don't say you don't say the scope in the ng model.
قلت له التاسك title.
Inside the scope. Task is an object in the scope. Dot title because you can go deep inside that object. So I'm going
You
deeper.
can define multiple objects in one scope.
You can find multiple objects. No.
Go back to the task.js, please. See, there is scope the task.
Scope the scope
Let's see.
So you can
See,
have
you can have title like that and description like that. Okay. So you have assigned this
okay.
task to title to that property. Okay. And when you create, it should execute. Down there, it's a simple view for the tasks. There's in repeat directive that in tasks. Of course, task now a local variable, and tasks is the tasks property in the scope. Okay? So for task and tasks, this is a limiting language, two curly braces, the variable I have assigned, and I know that there is dot title inside it, and there's type.
Which
That-
templating is this?
What?
Which templating?
Angular.
Angular.
Angular. It looks like jQuery.
Not using underscore
No, not underscore.
It looks like Django templates.
Yeah.
So how can you integrate this with Django?
Actually, if you're gonna use Django, you will not be populating the HTML using Django templates. Like, this is the idea, okay? That's how it goes.
Otherwise, Django will have escape
Yeah.
markers.
Yeah.
Don't know what they are, but for sure it has.
Okay. The idea here is this SPA framework means that you create the HTML, get it from a static server, and do the rest of data acquiring using REST calls. So no template rendering. Okay. This one is a filter we create in a moment. Okay. So let's remove it. Here. Okay. Of course, I should be having some time, something like that. Okay. So now I can create a task and it will be like that. But actually, tasks now is saved, but I can't add another task. So here I should be saying scope the tasks dot push scope the task. Okay. And scope the task clear the data equal empty object. Or actually that model.
Of
So
course, in real life application, you should like do Ajax code to server side.
yeah, exactly. It's just
But you still need to push it to the scope tasks.
yes. Yes, true. So here, task model. And here,
Actually, that's one thing I find better in backbone. If you define it correct, the create will immediately do a REST call on the URL you defined in your definition of the model. It
Yes,
will
okay.
immediately make a post,
Yes, because I don't think Angular has model.
okay.
and you don't have to push and do this part in backbone.
No, it has.
Yeah, if it has a model, if it has a separate model, then just
It has. Guys, it has.
okay. Sure,
Let's see
it's a
how.
model.
Okay, then we're not writing this way.
Okay, here, let's say Mcdar lab test 2. Okay. Here, if I ask like yo Angular. So yes, we like this tab, no, normally that one. Angular resource. That is guys what we are talking about. Here in Angular resource, you can define the URL for your cloud application using your normal REST APIs, and you can just say that resource is named user. So afterwards you can say user.new and assign the properties valid and user.save, and it will just do
And
the
the
magic.
delete will call a delete on the rest. and-
Exactly, and user.list will get you the array. So
This is why backbone sucks.
it's really there.
It sucks for lots of other reasons.
Okay. So let's continue.
This is way cleaner than backbone.
Oh.
Okay. Now let's see what we have. Local host, I guess. Yeah, that's not this one. That's it. Now I don't have anything. Let's try just testing. New class. It's from the other view that we have added. Test task. Now it created that thing, right? But actually I need time for the task. So here, in that thing, I have already in the view, you can see there's something called time. Okay? So let's add that time normally in the model. It's actually added. So when I create a new task, I should say scope the task to time equal to name. So now if I test that,
Didn't refresh.
yeah, I didn't refresh. That's true. So now we having that, okay? Yeah. Now we have it set in the resources. Let's see that. Inspect resources. Sorry. In the local storage, we can have we can see the tasks. It's object, which is incorrect. So here, instead of setting item depth, I should be doing that string 5. And then forget
String
the
before. String before.
Why do you have to do this?
because local storage takes only
Strings?
string. Okay?
Yeah.
And usually, if I'm gonna save it in the task, so I should be doing local storage to get tasks as well. Or okay, we have failing test. It says object storage has no method get. Okay, yeah, that's true because it is get item. Now it's succeeding. That's nice because having it is okay. So now
هو اكيد هنعملها كده مخصوص
we have an error.
عشان يجاوب عليك يا عم.
We have an error, okay, showing that this way because the thing is here the JSON with bars. Okay. Now we have something incorrect. So let's
start saving it.
new. That's not how it's done.
بالتالي عشان اللوكال ستورج اوريدي فيها حاجات لازم نضيفها الاول. دلوقتي بس زي ما انت
Let's try checking the server. The server is that's my mistake. And it's on 82 now.
Change?
Something like that.
لا انا بقول خد اللي بعده جرب اللي بعده نفضل بقى
So here, let's keep just here. Yeah, that's a new one because it's an import. So
But I can clear the local storage.
plus some description. Now it's created. This is a few seconds ago, which is yeah. I have ran incorrect application. That's my
Okay, does this run on Internet Explorer here?
yes.
ازاي ده
Yeah, that's incorrect. It's another
Another
application.
server.
That's another third. Another thing.
هو انت ايه ده ما لقيته كان
So again, I've run actually in my previous test application. So this is the one we have, and let's see what's wrong with the resources. Here, let's remove that. Delete it.
You can read it by code, right? Like
Yeah.
when you load on controller.
So let's try again. Task, sound description. It's not green. Okay, let's refresh. It's still there. Okay. So I just like this representation of date. So I would like to let's say now we're gonna test power. Okay, lab Angular. Here I would like to have a library that I know is called moment. Let's have a look at it. That is moment.js. It can give us representations with the date. It's an easy one. So here I would say power search moment. It's there. Okay, power install moment. And it's gonna get it and add it to our components. Okay?
the script tag in the HTML?
I will check that at the moment because I'm not sure of it. So here is the index of HTML and we see power is not there. Okay, so at the moment we can no. Yeah, it's sorry, it's not there as well.
Sorry, you run power on the root of your application directly?
You run all the codes inside the root, power, and you should run in the root there.
it's there that's
Not
correct.
Which one?
Moment.
I just wrote. Good? Okay. As long as it's not here, it will not be in the test configuration. So I need to add that as well. Moment. These are the list of files that the test needs to run. Okay? Okay. So now I have moment. what should I have to generate, to beautify the representation of data? There is in Angular something called filters. I can filter data dynamically. So let's have our workflow, not you. Angular filter. Okay, and that one we will say moment filter. Okay, now it's generated and it's tested. Okay, so here in the PI you can have our scripts and there is filters. You can open that and open it test as well.
Is there a new plugin for Sublime?
Actually, there is an editor for you for Angular, and I think there is plugin. There are. Okay.
ما شغال عليه.
So now what I would like to have is return moment of the input from now. Okay, that's one page. That is the normal. And it should return the date in few seconds. So let's try the test. Okay, I have that date equal new date. Okay, normally that's fine. And I will run moment filter over that date. Okay, result. I should expect result to be, for me actually, I tried to plot, and I would like to see what it tells me. Moment is not defined. No, it's not like that. Actually, because we didn't restart the test server. So now, should run? Yeah. Now, blah should equal a few seconds ago, which I know that a few seconds ago is the correct statement, but I don't know the spelling, so a few seconds ago, and I save, it succeeds. Now, I go here, it's still the same. I didn't apply the filter. Here, in the view, to apply the filter, I have the data. It's like piping the data into the filter, which is moment filter.
So filter is a bad name and it should be called mapping.
Still, you can filter lists. Okay?
List to reduce.
Now it says that house we have created is 5
The
minutes
way you
ago.
can
That idea?
That's nice.
Okay. Then we close.
Yeah, what if you checkbox the other code?
Because it should, when you select it, it selects all the rest. But it doesn't at the moment because it didn't run JavaScript before that.
You
Okay?
can remove from the template.
I can, but it's not there.
Yeah, I have a question. How did the view know about the moment filter?
The what?
The moment filter. How did the view know about
I
it?
have added the moment filter in the index.html as a JavaScript file, okay, and it registers itself inside the application. Okay. So later on, when you apply the syntax of filter, it parses it and converts it, and then know that that's the filter date and passes it as a program.
Yeah, I see.
So it's nice thing. It's nice and clean. So after doing that, this are fine. So close that. Okay. GA. Don't care about the code side. Just see what we have. Yeah. Session code.
There is no nice separation of what is actually downloaded / generated and code that you actually written, because now I see you're going to commit lots of stuff that you just got from the internet and not modified.
You can
Which
use
I
the
see.
ignore.
What?
You can use the ignore file.
Yeah, but that's manually.
Everything is in the component.
Basically, you would want to ignore the entire components because basically that whole thing is downloaded.
Yeah, that's right. But actually, that can be done later on. Guys, just to tell you, human it's still in beta. It's 1 to beta. Okay, and that's version 1. But it's a nice utility. Here, I should be pushing that. And you can all can have the code repo, it's public, and you can have the slides that's there. Thank you.
Can you put the links in the invitation comment or something like that?
I will add that.
You earned your initial point here.
Thank you.
ده بقى كله ربنا